Greetings, longtime friends and new viewers. My name is Dan Delaney, and every day during 2011 I'm picking a new food that's unusual and exploring it for you folks out there. In honor of this warm weather that we're starting to experience, as well as the impending Memorial Day, I thought we'd dedicate a whole week of content to grilling and grilling-related episodes. So this is WTF Grilling Week, Episode 1. We've got a bunch of great sponsors lined up for the different episodes during Grilling Week, and we're starting off with Stagecoach Sauces, which you can check out online at stagecoachsauces.com. Stagecoach produces a number of different types of sauces that are all great for barbecuing and grilling. Here we're going to take a look at their steak sauce, which, like all of their sauces, is free of high fructose corn syrup, free of preservatives, free of additives, free of other not healthy ingredients. It's all really raw ingredients that are good for you and are natural. They also make a great ruby red garlic sauce, which is awesome for marinating chicken and grilling chicken with. But today we're going to focus on steak, and we're going to use their steak sauce along with our dinner. Check them out online at stagecoachsauces.com. Alright, I figured that it was best to start a grilling week with Grilling 101. So before we get into the complicated recipes, we're going to take today's episode and really talk about the history of grilling and some tips and tricks to make your grilling experience really easy and fun. Grilling is probably the oldest and I think the manliest way to cook meat. It's meat on top of fire. There's no messing with that. And as far as its age, people believe that grilling started about 500,000 years ago. It's a long time. Grilling didn't really do much evolving until the 1950s. Prior to the 1950s, grilling was always a communal act. People would grill in public parks, or way back in the day they would grill on a bonfire. However, everything changed in the 1950s. In the 1950s, a guy named George Stevens inherited a company called Weber Brother Metals in Chicago. Now, that company was primarily known for making buoys, which are these devices that go out into the water to help guide ships home and into port. He took one of the buoys, cut it in half, threw a grill inside, and drilled some holes, and created the first Weber grill. And Weber grills took off, the buoy business sunk, and basically everybody bought these grills for their home use. And that was the first time that grilling went from a communal act that only happened in public places to a backyard activity. Fun fact, the phrase "come to a backyard barbecue" is actually often wrong, because the art of barbecuing is very different from the art of grilling. Grilling, you're cooking with radiant heat, and it's direct heat. You're cooking things also very quickly. Barbecue is all about low and slow, it's about indirect, and it's all about smoke. And today there are generally two camps of grills for your home. Some people go with a gas grill, which uses a gas source like propane. The propane heats up a bunch of permanent briquettes that are stored inside of your grill grate. They hold all of the warmth and transfer that warmth to your meat. The other type of grill is a charcoal grill. In a charcoal grill, the actual lumps of charcoal hold all the heat, are on fire, and they transfer the heat directly to the meat. Regardless of the type of grill that you have, I have a few tips for you that'll make your grilling experience a lot better and your food tastier. Tip number 1 is create heat zones. Don't put charcoal all through the bottom of your grill, as it's just going to create a blanket of heat and it's not going to give you any room for play. Instead, put all of your heat source on one side of the grill, whether that means turning on one side of the burners or putting your charcoal over on one side. Keep the other side open. Now you'll be able to move your steak or your burger from the hot side to the cooler side and have more control over the cooking temperature and time. Point 2 is keep it clean. I recommend using natural lump charcoal and using a charcoal chimney as opposed to using something like lighter fluid. For number 3, we have 3 essential tools for grilling. Number 1 is aluminum foil. I prefer the heavy-duty varietal. It'll allow you to tench your meat. You can also crumple up your aluminum foil to help clean off your grill grate before you put the meat down. Number 2 would be a spatula. For a metal spatula, the same one that you would flip fish with is a great option for the grill. And number 3 is a tong. It is the most versatile tool in your kitchen. I recommend getting metal tongs so they don't melt while you're moving things around over the hot heat. Number 4 is know the temperature of your food. Food dries out very quickly on a grill, so it's helpful to have a thermometer on hand to know exactly what the temperature is and be prepared to move things off the grill about 5 to 10 degrees before they hit the temperature point that you want them at, because they will continue to cook. Another rule of thumb is actually the rule of thumb. You can simulate the doneness of meat and then compare and contrast by moving your fingers around on your hand. If you feel this cushy part of your thumb right now, it is the same texture that a rare piece of steak will be. If you pinch your first two together, you have medium rare, medium, medium well, and well done. So as I move my fingers together, it gets tougher and tougher, just like the steak will become the more you cook it. All right, so today we're going to go through some of the basics, setting up a charcoal grill and grilling a steak. Couldn't be simpler. First, put some tightly crumpled newspaper in the bottom of your charcoal chimney. Add a few pieces of lumped charcoal on top. Light up the newspaper and allow it to heat up your charcoal. Depending on the size of the grill and the amount of food that you're cooking, I recommend putting some charcoal in the beginning, letting that heat up, and then slowly adding more. I find that if you put all the charcoal in your chimney at once and then heat it up, it doesn't heat up thoroughly and it actually goes out before it really heats up. While the charcoal in your chimney is heating up, you're going to pour more charcoal into your grill. Remember, keep it on one side only. Once the charcoal in your chimney is ashy and white, pour that charcoal carefully over your grill and over the other charcoal. Cover up your grill and let it heat up. When the majority of your charcoal has caught fire and is a bit white, you're ready to grill. Lay down a steak seasoned with salt and pepper. Season early and let it kind of work its way into the meat before you throw it on the grill. I'm using a strip steak, bone out. It's about 1.5 inches thick. Another quick tip, if you keep your meat in the refrigerator, you want to let it come to room temperature for about 20 minutes before you put it on the grill. All you're going to do is make the cook time and temperature uneven, and the result will be a charred piece of meat on the outside that is basically raw on the inside. You don't want that. I'm also going to cook up some asparagus. Just toss it in a little bit of vegetable oil because it's a high heat oil with salt and pepper, and put that on the grill as well. Cook the steak for about 4 minutes on each side. Remember to use the rule of thumb to determine how well your meat is cooked, and when it's done, you're going to take it off and tent it in some aluminum foil for about 5 minutes before you eat, so the juices get to reabsorb and it gets to rest. So that's my Grilling 101 episode, and that's how to grill a steak. Remember to check out stagecoachsauces.com and tune in all throughout this week to hear a bunch of different episodes about all different wild ways to grill. See you tomorrow on What's This Food?